good little late 1950s workhorse.
It's just got too many steps. What do you say?
If I had a penny for everything,
Bang! And that's what happens when you rush. Thank you, Hyde.
My favourite chapter.
Good morning, everyone. If you have not already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.
ring the little bell.
Videos.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling videos
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
every Tuesday, Friday, and the odd occasion we do the Sunday video. That might be a Sunday video, it might be, who knows. So what's going on today is the case obviously been here for a while. It's going soonish. We have no idea when it is going. So we thought we'd have just a little bit of a talk about all of the tractors on the farm, the biggest to the smallest. We've got the loaders, and we thought we'd just have a little run around and describe what the job is on this farm, what they do, horsepower, that's kind of little information. I've spoken to the Ginge. I kind of like, let's hurry up a little bit. You know, we don't want to chat too much because we want a nice good video, don't we?
We do, but what we do here quickly, we've got a 50s tractor, an 80s tractor, a 2000s tractor, and a 2020s tractor. That's the sort of ages they go up. We used to have a 70s tractor in this international case range, but that's gone. So we've got sort
You traded that in for the Hurley, didn't you?
yeah. Oh, we traded a 674 in for that, if you remember.
Was it?
885 two-wheel drive.
I just remember sort of something going when we bought
Oh, we
the
had a
Hurley.
four-wheel drive case, and we had traded the 674 with had a loader on.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
885 two-wheel
That's-
drive with a loader.
Yeah, that starter was great. That 885 didn't. Oh, it did have a loader, didn't it?
Yeah, they both had loaders, and they went. The loader's still here for the 674. That's a mill loader, basically, with international stickers on, or vice versa. They went, but basically, it's just the generations of tractors of how over agriculture the needs have got bigger, the tractors have got bigger, and also the technology's greatly improved.
What we're going to do is we're going to start on the smallest tractor. The smallest tractor is a scrape tractor. This gets run every day, isn't it?
Every day.
It's B275 International.
Never failed to start. Brakes are still good. It's a good little late 1950s workhorse. In the day, these were a great little tractor.
We did a
Great.
full video on this, didn't we, Dad?
Yes.
Dad went into detail. It was a great video. I thought people really liked it. We bought this tractor for 1,250 quid, and that was about 3-4 years ago now.
At least 4
and
years
it's worked really well. We do try and maintain it as best we can. It does get covered in muck, but we try and pressure wash it as often as we can as well. So that was this dent here. You'll see it's a new dent from the video if you go watch the video. That's what we call a Heidi dent.
A Heidi dent.
A Heidi dent. So that's a Heidi dent. It happens to us all. The main job for that is scrape tractor. Gets used every day, 365. Next, we are on our Case International 885. 4-wheel drive. We used to have 2 of these. Wasn't it the first tractor you bought on the farm?
Yeah, no, the first tractor was a 434, which is an upgrade from the 275, the first new one. First one I bought, personally, was an 885, yes.
Yeah.
First one I bought, not my father, I bought was an 885, and it was a 2-wheel drive. This is the second one I bought. We went to 4-wheel drive.
You had 3 of these, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, technically, you've had 4 or 5 of them, because you've had 2 of them as well.
No, one, 2. Yeah, we shifted one. Yeah, we had 5 of them.
5 885 tractors. They're really simple to work. Yes, it looks old, and the rust work is just getting a bit tired. A new shed might kind of.
It'll help.
That's sun damage. That. What kind of horsepower are we on, Dad?
This is 80 horsepower. The basic thing about this, we just come round to this side, and you'll recognise it from this side. This engine block, this basic block, was the same for the 574, 674, and that was in the 70s, and it got to the 80s, then this, and the 90s, and it went to the 895 series, 7 series. The basic engine block and running gear for this international case has kept the same over probably 20, nearly 30 years. So it proves when they first brought it out in competition for your Ford 5000s and your big masses, 165, 168s, 178s, This time, this block has stood the test of time. The basic layout of this tractor has been a very, very good tractor. All they've done is upgrade, get a bit more power, put better hydraulics on the back. Then they have XL cabs where you've got heaters, and then went to flat cabs for the arable lads, so they had a bit more room, a bit more comfort. But it's still only around the 80-85 horse when they finished with it. And a few turbos went on them for 90 horse, but that was really stretching the engine and the capabilities of this block gearbox and everything else. It's a dairyman's tractor. It's short, it's stocky, it's got plenty of lift. We're not doing a lot of field work with it. It's a dairyman's, a stockman's tractor. It's a hill tractor. And one of the advantages of this one being a later one, which is quickly see, compared to the one with the loader, this is the old four-wheel drive setup with a drop box and a gearbox to the front axle. The disadvantage of this, it doesn't have the lock that one does. You'll notice that when you load. Even though it's a great little four-wheel drive loader tractor, it doesn't have the steering lock of the later four-wheel drives. So that again was a development. The biggest issues I've had with them over the years, the back ends haven't been strong enough for the heavier slurry tankers and spreaders and trailers we've put on them, and they've generally, that's why we traded our last 885 in and we went up to the Hurleyman, because it's 100 horsepower guaranteed, bigger engine, bigger framework, more field work, good for the heavier stuff, and a better back end. And that Hurleyman has got a very, very strong back end considering from these.
So this tractor's main job is in the winter is drives the feeder, drives a Keenan all the time. Summer we normally take it off for 2 or 3 months. We take it off, we do other jobs with it. Dad normally rolls with it because we only, Hurleyman's normally our main tractor.
And
normally
Ted with it. You go
tedding with it.
I can slurry cart with it, I can muck cart with it.
So yeah, I've slurry carted with it. I've slurry carted with that loader tractor. When we bought the slurry tanker, this was the main tractor we had at the time. It was before me, so that tanker fit this tractor, and that's the way we worked. And then we moved up in 2007, so when I was 15, bought the Hurleyman, just over £20,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, 21,000 it cost me, 21.5, which I thought was a bloody good deal at the time. It's 100 horse. There's so many advantages with this one. There was an 85 horsepower with the same sort of body and shape and everything. They just tweaked to 100 horse. But this one, again, if we go around the back, this was with oversized tyres on, by the way, which was a request by myself. Again, they've got a Birks Farm back end. Their back end is that much stronger than the old little 885, and it can lift 4.5 ton, this tractor, easily. It's twin assister rams, loads of spools. It's got a back end of the next grade up. The 120 horsepower tractor doesn't have a bigger back end than this, so it's a smaller horsepower at the front end, but it's got the bigger back end. It has a bigger clutch in it, so all the wearing parts that get a lot of hammer on a dairy farm or any farm really are right for us for carting big loads of grass. We can put a bigger tanker on, as we've proven with putting a slurry tanker. It's a grand little tractor. It's like a little pug dog. It never gives up. And when you sit on it, you've got a good vision, you've got a good view. But it's a dairyman's, stockman's tractor. It can do the field work. I like it, I really do. And when the tractor, unfortunately, that one let us down with a little head gasket problem this winter, this fits the feeder well. It works the feeder well, and you can drive all around our farm easily with the feeder on the back.
No problem.
It's universal. It's a good little tractor.
Good luck. The only thing, obviously, because it's a little tractor, the cab's a bit of a pain in the arse. Today's not the hottest day in the world, but when it is absolutely boiling, we didn't pay the extra for the aircon. I think I watched Richard from the Funky Farmer. He had the same discussion. I watched the video a while ago, and he was checking at the time. The dealer, when he bought a new tractor, asked him, do you want to put aircon on? And he went, no, none of my tractors have ever had aircon on it. Aircon would be great. It would keep the cab a lot cleaner. Dad always leaves the door open and just dust goes everywhere.
That's aircon.
It's had a bit of wear and tear. That is a lately problem. We got a brand new top link for it, and we lent it out and someone bent it. So they obviously smacked that. That's bent. It's a bit annoying. We've
looked after it.
Looked after it.
Yeah,
and
it does everything we want, really. And it's nowadays, again, this is a small tractor. That was a big tractor in the 70s and 80s, or 80s, 85. This was a big tractor in 2000. 100 horsepower was perfectly adequate. And now we step up to these tractors.
To the case. Are we done with the Hurleyman? What jobs does it do? Hurleyman is our main tractor normally, so any tanking,
the mowing, it can do the tedding, do all the field work in spring, till sower, no problem. I had the new big till sower on. I would say big, it's not big by modern standards, big for us, and I put 3 bags in, so I put 3,600 weight of till in the back. Lifted it no problem. We've got a few front weights on, that's courtesy of International in the past, because we've had Internationals. lifted it, no problem, worked with it, no problem, and I had 3.5 tons sat on the back on the till sower, and it worked very, very well. Got a fan, it's got a radio.
It still is a good tractor. Yeah. We're not thinking of shifting it anytime soon.
Well, it's done 6,500 hours with us, and touch wood, it's been very reliable.
Original tyres, aren't they?
Yeah, except the one I popped.
All original tyres that have done 6,500 hours.
And look at the back tyres. These back tyres, 6,500 hours. They are not bad tyres.
I've got to give a dig to Dad, because he does know so much, and he does know his stuff. Is this tyre because you caught the old chain harross, didn't you?
I caught the old chain
when
harross.
you're in a rush.
And I was rushing, and all of a sudden, with it being tubeless and thing, it just went pop, boom,
bang,
down. So we couldn't even put a gator in it.
We move up. So we've got
38, 37.
38, 37 horses.
80.
We're on the 80, 100, and then it's 145, boosted to 175. So this is the Case Maxim. We have this on the farm for the last 3 months. It's been very, very fortunate to have this on the farm. It has been great to use. Obviously, me and Dad have been Father and I have been cracking on this spring. It just seemed everything crept up upon us. It was many a time. Dad was in the Hurley when I was in this. It's been an absolute godsend at times, because we've both been able to crack on and get jobs done, because normally the Case we had the Keenan on, so we couldn't do that. I've been driving the Case most of the time,
85–90% of the time.
Yeah, so Dad's been driving a bit. It's comfort. The big thing about this Case is when you're in it, it's really good. The only thing Dad struggles with this
beautiful.
Case,
it's not good, it's beautiful.
It's a fantastic tractor. The only issue that Dad has, and this will be the only issue, this is why Dad's got a little bit about it, is it's just got too many steps. So Dad's got bad knees. Yeah, 62, 63?
63 with a new knee that should be resting.
Yeah, so Dad's got bad knees. So he struggles to, up's fine, down's the hardest.
Down's the hardest, and the trouble is, when you've only got 2 steps, you've only 1 on your bad knee. But when you've 3–4 steps, you've got 2 on your bad knee, so you have double the pain going up and down all the time.
That's the reason why I drive the Case all the time, you know, if we're tanking, carting or anything like that. So I'll jump in that, because I just jump in it, and it kind of gives Dad's knees a bit of a rest.
Well, it's easier on the other tractor. You're not climbing up on the 3rd floor.
When you're mowing and you're sitting in it, you enjoy it, don't you?
Absolutely. It's a great tractor. It's a field tractor. It's a tractorman's tractor. I'd love to do it with some real proper field work, whether some heavy ploughing, disking, or ploughing's a good thing, or really down grubbing, something that's giving it some grunt, so it can work on its wheel slip and work on the horsepower. And you know, that's where it's going to make a lot of money for someone. It's got a brain. This tractor's got a brain, probably better than a lot of operators would end up driving it. And that's what I say. You've better brain than me. I bet you can switch this on, it'll tell you a lifetime more about it than I can.
My cousin was actually doing some ploughing one day. He was, do you want to jump in? And it was just when we were getting busy. I really wanted to get on and do some ploughing with this and just put the plough on, because I've never ploughed before, and it'd be really interesting to do it. We never had the chance to do it. This Case has front linkage on. It's a 50k box. It has, is it 4
electronic remote spools? Unfortunately, the old man doesn't like electronic spools. For the simple reason, you don't feel, you push a button and the electrics do the change of operate the spool for you. The electric valve does, electric motor. You don't feel it the same as with a hand operated spool valve. If you need electric spools, and if there is a damn good reason to have them, have them. But in our situation, in my situation, at the end of the day, I still like to feel I like a clunk and a pull and a tug. And
that's why you like the old Land Rover Defenders, weren't you?
The Land Rover Defenders, yeah. The upgrade, but there's so much of this tractor that you won't use on an everyday basis. You'll only use in certain situations. And how much does it cost to put on it?
Yeah, but when you need it,
oh, it's great. But the choice is, all it does is take away the ability of the operator to drive the tractor anyway, because all it does is eliminate it. We might be able to do 2 or 3 things at once, which may be necessary. At the end of the day, the basic tractor to me is doing the same. The operator can nearly do as well as all these other things if they have the tractor to work with.
Yeah, it is a hell of a tractor. It's nice when you're in it. Even for me, I can jump in and out, no problems. Carting's been great, mowing's been great. They're just going up and down speeds just by a button. The electric doing that, you know, how you don't have to use your clutch.
No.
Use this, you got to use your clutch. You've got bad knees, 2 and 2 together.
That I love. I would love to be in that nearly all day. But practically, for us on our farm, I'd have to downgrade it a little bit, make it a bit simpler, and it's just too big for our farm. Not being rude.
I think you're on. Yeah, I've got around everywhere where you'd have got around with that.
Yeah,
You get used to it.
Horses for courses, right? It's great.
On that bombshell, let's talk loaders. So we're going to start with this loader first.
The old-fashioned one.
The old-fashioned one, yeah. The 885 International Loader Tractor, Tanko loader. So when I chat about loader tractors, I've done it, we did it at Lammer, people were chatting about it and they asked me about it, and I will say the same thing the whole time. But when I started, we started with the tractor that you were talking about with the grab on it. The grab's still here with the sheer grab.
Oh, the 674?
The 674.
Well, no cab on.
Yeah, no cab on. So we started with a 674, no cab, two-wheel drive with a loader tractor. You couldn't grab too much because you'd break a shear bolt. And what we upgraded to a two-wheel drive
885
case. You had to drive forward and then turn. You couldn't be turned and drive forward because there was so much weight in the front you'd end up wrecking bearings, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and also kingpins. We put a shear grab on one, which is great, and there's the old shear grabs there. It's a lot smaller than the 4'6" one, maybe only 4 foot or 3'6". And by the time you put your shear grab on, and you've grabbed a whole lot of silo, you're on a two-wheel drive 885, or even, you know,
it was in between those two.
Yeah,
in between those two.
And all of a sudden the weight was, the front axle couldn't take the weight, hence the four-wheel drive. These later became good stockman's tractors.
That's when you went for a muck grab on the old one. So we used to do everything. This you would hear our main loader tractor, and it was older than this. So we used to move our big bales. We didn't have pallet forks on the farm. We didn't have a shear grab. We just had a muck grab because the old shear grab was like knackered. Put too much in the muck grab, you'd break shear bolts or you'd stall a tractor. What else did we do? We didn't use a flat 8, did we?
No, we
used that. We used the muck grab to move spales of straw.
Everything. And it was, hey, it bloody worked.
It did work. Well, Dad says, what do you say? A penny for every ton.
If I had a penny for every ton of that bloody tractor shifted, I'd be a very wealthy man. I would. You know, everything that was brought into the farm and all the muck that was brought out, box muck, whatever, it had them fleet up in the middle, then it loaded the spreaders, it did everything. It was like the feeder tractor. It worked every day and sometimes all day. And it was, you know, it done many hours, 885, and it probably done about 13,000 hours, 12,000 of them with a loader on, so it was really tired. Anyway, we sold that and the old 674 because I saw Dave Tunstall selling one of these, and the reason why I bought this wasn't for the tractor as much, it was for the loader, because it's a good Tanko loader. They were well made, and this one has got oversized lift rams. It'll lift the lamb's height more than the old loader we had. It's got the same headstock, so I can put all the attachments on it, which is a Tanko quick fit headstock,
which he never does.
No, but we can do. They're all set up because we moved on to a load all. But this tractor will feed. This tractor will take the muck spreader if needed. And at the end of
I've tank slurry with it.
Yeah, I've tank slurry with it, and I can load straw bales with it. Tom can load in the field with the flat 8 on the Manitou. Someone can't tell me I can stack and unload bales as quick with this as I can with a flat 8.
You are good. You are good with this. The other thing about a loaded tractor, which is quite good, you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of loaded tractors, but I do find it's got its uses. It has been very useful, this thing, because of the two farms that we feed at. So we have this there. It has the back end. We actually have got a pusher which needs fixing. We'll do a video on that. Normally we'll have that on the back end, so it's very useful because you only need one tractor over there. Works perfectly. And obviously here it has our post knocker on, so it works as a dual vehicle. It has its place on this farm, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Well, it worked every day last winter, didn't it? And the winter before.
Yeah.
And how many times did it not start?
I don't think it did it ever?
It's never not started.
Never not started.
It never not started. It worked every day. We had an oil leak with it this winter, which we sorted, but it never not started. It's one of those, if you don't expect too much, you get what you're given, and it does a good little job. And in fact, we've got the other farm and the other silo clamp now. It saves us having to move machine from farm to farm to farm, which is always wrong. It's sat there waiting for work, whether it be bedding up, bedding out, getting straw bales moved, or loading feeders. It's there.
Does a good job, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if there's anything happens with the other main loader that works on this farm, we know we've got backup.
We have got a bucket for this as well. It's a little bit bent because I put it in the Keener once. I forgot to put the thing through it. It took about an hour to get it out. I was rushing to get done, like 2:45, just before milking, bang, and that's what happens when you rush. Then we're going to move on to our Manny 3, the 25-year-old newest piece of kit. No, that's the newest piece of kit on the farm, isn't it?
Yeah,
apart from the case, obviously.
Yeah.
That's the newest. This is the second newest piece in the kit, and you're like, oh my god, that Manitou is so old. I get it, but think where we've started. Well, I think where Dad started. I think when I've started on my farming career on loading stuff up. This is just the beast. It's just ridiculous. Is it a Manny 523?
523. Definitely 25, 30 year old.
25, I think.
Yeah, 20 plus
25. 2 years younger than me.
2 years.
26.
26
years old now. It does everything we want it to. We've got a shear grab on it. We have a bucket. We have
Flat
bay
8.
Squeeze, flat 8. You know, pallet forks. We have pallet forks. For many years of my first starting farming career,
Handball.
we used to handball, so they'd come with a pallet, so we'd have to handball it off. I think it's about a 5 metre reach with, is it 2.2? 2.3 ton lift. Obviously we've put the new tyres on it. That's been a bit of a godsend. It's had a real good pushing ability. Travelling around the fields or doing anything has been a lot better because we can actually get there. Pushing muck up's better because you can push the wall down.
The last year's video one, because of some big bales off when it was particularly wet and nasty. Yeah, the tyres, the grip, the tyres were down to ball, which didn't matter much on concrete. But here you've got, we were only just travelling and lifting big bales without making a real mess.
When we first started in YouTube, was it 3 years ago? Remember that? We had grass down for like 10 days.
Yeah.
And that was, I never videoed it, but I went that bottom field and got stuck with it. So the new tyres has been great. The Manitou is just, it's great for us.
Why buy this old one? Simplicity for me.
We did have a discussion about this as well at the time, didn't we?
It was new, so we have 3 levers. 1, 2, 3, no joystick.
Cleaning that Manitou.
3 levers. We've replaced 2 cables, haven't we?
Yeah.
And what happens when you find a cable going?
You can feel it.
You can feel it. When you've got electronics, all of a sudden your cable breaks, you've no lift. These, we rang up a supplier, rang up one of the agents, one of the mechanics. Can you get me a new cable for the Manitou? My cable's sticking, it's going. And 2 or 3 days later, he rolls on the farm, puts a new cable on, it's still going. Electrics going, then one day, doesn't go. Cable's broken.
Switch is broken.
Switch is broken. You've a bit of a warning, and when you use it like we do every day, all day, when winter, it's nice just to have that feel of this isn't quite working right, we need to look at it. Well, it's a strong base model that they've used, and they put more power in, more reach in, more lift in. They've improved the cabs, they've put more power on, they've made the wheels bigger so they can do better in the field work. However, for us, it's a big step up for the loader. It's a fantastic piece of kit, and it wasn't very expensive. It was at the end of the day, when you're going into the new world, you don't like buying the top-notch one and finding it doesn't work, and you waste a lot of money.
I don't think we're looking at a top-notch one just yet.
And another good reason why I bought it,
I thought
it's not got a lot of plastic on, and I said, if at the end of the day there's a lot of metal in it, it'll always weigh in and scrap. There's a lot of
what a good way to think
look
about
at it. It's solid, it's built solid.
It's a good bus. When Dad chats about this, obviously in the nicest way, he is kind of the old boy, so he's used to his levers, he doesn't like his switches. So Dad has never had a Manitou with switches. I've never had a Manitou with switches properly, and it does work well for our system. Would we trade it in one day? Yes. If we're going to trade it in one day with switches and electrics, probably definitely in my time. I don't know, who knows, we could do it in the next couple of years, depends how things go on.
25-year-old plus, and it's only done 5,000 hours.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it had 4.2 on them when we bought it. It'd never seen cow muck. Yeah. Let's have the advantage. It'd never been on a dairy farm, it'd been on an arable farm, used for in the harvest time, then pushing grain, loading grain with a big bucket into a wagon during the winter. That was its job.
Yeah.
So it comes here and it's got 6 different jobs. It's in muck, it's in straw, it's in grass silage, it's on pallet moving. All of a sudden it's got all the jobs in the world. And it sees cow muck, and that's the degrade of anything. Cow muck and silo acid, and it's bad for them. So it's had 20 years of a nice life. Now it's had 5 years. It's put 1,500 hours on in our 5 years.
Yeah, has it been here 5 years?
Well, nearly.
We just wanted to show you what kind of machines we have on the farm. Obviously the Can-Am's still here, we have the Kawasaki here, but these are where we started.
12 years ago we were at that level, and that was the best. 12 years, 10 years, that's the best. Now we're 2020 and that's the best, and it has a reason to be. It's because of modern ways of thinking, doing more acres, speed and everything.
Well, we're doing more acres now, aren't we?
We're doing more acres.
And the way that we look at it, and yes, our kit is not the newest kit in the world, and we know it.
Yeah.
And I'm quite proud of the kit that we've got, because we've worked hard for it. But we're growing, we're progressing. You can see where we started on. and we're moving forward. And maybe we're not moving forward with these brand new machines as quick as possible, but we'll have a second-hand good machine, and they've worked really, really well for us, and I'm quite happy with the kit we've got. The case, like I say, it's been here, it's been an absolute godsend.
Yeah, the case has been good because it saved us a lot of time this spring. Late spring, tricky conditions, then all of a sudden when we could go, Tom could work the case, I was working the hurleyman, we did all our own field work, we did all our own muck spreading as such. We had one lad come in and help us, but there was no reliance on contractors, nothing got left behind. We slotted, we rolled, we harrowed, we did everything proper in the spring, just the two of us. Lockdown helped a bit.
Lockdown did help.
Because there was nothing else to do. I mean, you know, we self-isolated in a field. We'd done it all ourselves this time without having to rush or think we needed extra help. In the old days, and I'm going back when I was, well, I was going back with a teenager before, we used to forage harvest with tractors like that. International 434 on the back of a Hurricane or a David Brown flail forager, and that's what we had. And those tractors came in because they were lighter than your old Fords and Majors and your big farm hauls who had no draft control, and they could do all the jobs. It's like a step up from your Harry Ferguson little grey Fergie. They could push above the weight because of draft control and everything else, but they wanted a bit more power, so we had a 434, 44 horsepower, and we foraged with 44 horsepower. In that field there, I was doing it before when I was at school, when I left school at 16 or so, 17, and well before I left school, I was foraging with an International 434 and a 40-inch wide flail forager into 2-ton trailers, flat out, absolutely to the limit. You know, you could stop it with your finger because there was nothing left in the old girl, but that's what we did. And we had 2 or 3 of them, and we worked for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, siloing, hay carting. One day.
One day.
We do more in a day than we used to do in a week, and that's with 80 horsepower. 100 horsepower. We used to hire a 100 horsepower tractor to put on the precision chop, and we used to think we did well if we did 20 acre a day. Now you do 100 acre a day. Easy.
You sit about it.
Well, you sit down, have a brew, have a chat, this, that, the other. 100 acre, gone. You know, you pull that trigger, it goes. It goes.
We're going to end it here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you saw the timeline of things, the kit on our farm, what it does, why it does it, and how it does it, how we've accumulated the kit to be on the farm.
When you upgrade, you have to upgrade in stages because your mower's not big enough, your tanker's not big enough. You know, you can't instantly buy all new kit at once. But the most beautiful thing about today, look at those cows grazing on that grass.
And at the end of the day, obviously the kit is really important, but the cows are the most important thing on the farm. You see the sheep, we got sheared in the show the other day, so we let them out. But the cows are all grazing. We're just strip grazing at the moment. Loads of fleshy grass.
If Tom could get the drone up and just show this from above, just have a look what the cows have got in front of him. And second cut is growing like mad, which is full of muck, full of fertiliser. It's now got warmth, it's now got water. Watch it grow. It is growing. It'll be good. 2 or 3 weeks time we'll be chopping again.
We will. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up, please. Give it a thumbs up. Everyone loves a thumbs up.
Is that it? Finish?
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel and get your TP merch at pemsonsfarmshop.co.uk/TP merch. We're doing a big relaunch, and
that's it. Bye bye.